I'm Matt Dorey, and you're watching Tech Cocktail.
Tech Cocktail Conversations, candid insights from startup founders, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders from around the globe.
My name is Matt. I'm an entrepreneur from San Francisco. I've been starting companies since I was a kid. Started programming when I was really young, when I was like 8 or 9, I think, and started a couple different businesses. And my most recent business was I was the founder of the first cloud-based practice management digital X-ray company in the dental industry. My first business was actually selling CDs. So I don't know if you guys remember, but when CD burners just first came out, they were about $1,000, and I knew I wanted one so desperately, and so I actually got a loan from my parents to get a CD burner. It was like $500 or $1,000, and then once I had CDs, I was making my own custom CDs, and every other kid at school had tapes. And so because I had borrowed the money from my parents, I was thinking about different ways that I could pay it back. And so I actually created, where I grew up, I was the only kid on the block with a CD burner, and I knew about all the underground download sites, so where you could get old school wares. And so I actually just started making custom CDs, and I was selling them for 20 bucks a pop. And I remember all of grade 7, I just started making tons of cash selling custom CDs. And that was really amazing and really profitable, and I got to feel what it was like to be an entrepreneur. And then the next year, some other kid came in, the cost of burners came down, and all these other kids started making CDs and just completely undercutting my prices and making them more customizable, and completely squeezed all the margins out of that business. And they basically went where I was making custom, beautifully packaged CDs, and then they came in, and these other kids came in grade 8, and they were making up for it all on quantity. And so I just learned about technology shifts, about markets, about how different. I learned a lot just by starting a little CD business. So the biggest thing is that I think as entrepreneurs, we have this tendency to get really attached to our futures. And so, whether it's we want to create a company that's this big, or we want to have this type of impact, and I mean, you hear it in Silicon Valley every single day where people are talking about changing the world and making the most amount of impact. But I actually think that entrepreneurs that make a really massive impact, and the ones that actually do add a lot of goals, or do add a lot of impact in the world, they're not actually these people that set out these massive goals. They're really people a lot of the times that just fall in love with something, and they fall in love with their work. And they do that for a certain amount of time, and after 5 or 10 years of trying to be the best or trying to do their best work, that becomes something that was really amazing that they could never predict. And so I think it's easy for entrepreneurs to look at other entrepreneurs that have been successful and try to connect the dots backwards. But I think moving forward, that's not actually how it works. And so I like to think about things as rate-based goals. And so a lot of people will say, oh, I want to sell 1,000 customers in a year, or I want to build a $100 million company or a $1 billion company, but they don't actually take that back and be what's my goal this week, or what is it I want to do this week? And so I think very short-term, very attainable goals are the key to achieving really big things down the road. And then the other thing I would say is make goals around the stuff that make you happy. And if you can become more happy and you can become more engaged in your work, you're going to naturally produce better stuff. So I think the biggest, I don't know about actual trends, but I think there's this problem in Silicon Valley right now where people are looking 1 to 2 years out. And I think if you talk to venture capitalists, I mean, they're looking at what's important and what's hot right now. Most VCs and most entrepreneurs try to jump on what's hot right now. And the companies that have always been successful is never the people building stuff for the problems right now. They're always thinking about what's going to be important in 5 years or 10 years, and they either speed that up or make that happen. And so I think we're at an interesting time because a lot of the consumer market is completely inundated. Consumers have been inundated with so much choice, and I think now people are starting to get excited about getting back to solving real challenges. And I think with the internet and with the cost of software going down, it actually is possible to tackle some of these really big industries. So healthcare, education, government, all of those different things. And so I don't know if those are trends, but I would say I really hope that entrepreneurs focus more on trying to solve those problems, because those are really the industries like left to disrupt, these big monolithic organizations.